Hello. Yes, I was asked to give, let's say, some short opening, and Carlo has already had some let's say, insights into HPC, and I'm now giving it really from the HPC perspective of a guy who's the managing director of, let's say, this kind of a small center, which unfortunately we are late. If we would have done this some months ago, we would have been number 8 in the world. Now we are number 14, but it doesn't matter because we really don't care about this. I shouldn't say this to people. Don't tell anybody. So the idea was just to give some ideas. So we're doing some things together here in this area, GSS, HPC. We try to use the synergies and to give you some feeling why we are doing this. And it's not only about getting money, it's really about bringing things forward and using opportunities. So, yes? Yeah?
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Everything fine. Good. I'm in the management, but I still can do some technology. Wait until I miserably fail later. Good. This is a nice picture which I usually use to explain HLRS. It's a bit outdated because there's a new building currently in construction, and yes, it will grow bigger. But it should give you, let's say, a main feeling for the things where we are. So this is a nice green area, gives you a good feeling when you look at it. With a big machine room here because we have a big system. Let's say we have a big system using a lot of energy. First action of the Green Party Prime Minister of our area was to, let's say, inaugurate the 4 megawatt consuming machine, which was a bit of an interesting thing, seeing how the PR campaigns could do this. But it's also, one good thing is that we can show really that there are benefits. And at the end, there's some sort of a return of investment also in these investments in energy, in money, etc. These are the people which are usually sometimes appearing at HLRS, which are the stakeholders. They are from politics, they're from industry, they're from society. And for us it's important when we invest, let's say, a non-trivial amount of money in a new machine, also to give feedback, okay, this is not just to appear on a top 500 list, or this is not just to be the best system or the quickest system in Europe or in Germany or wherever, but to really see, okay, this system is first of all usable for the communities around this, and the system leads to successes. So when we look at this, and all the things you can't see are top secret, so we took them out of the slides here on the side. I will not now try to refigure it, I will just tell you about this, and you can see the slides later. I think they will be uploaded somewhere. So just shortly about HLRS, we were the first national HPC center in Germany. Tier 0 systems provider, already said it. Our current flagship, Hazelhen, has 185,000 cores. Let's say if you compare it to China, it looks like the little brother of anyone. However, it runs well, and it's still one of the fastest systems worldwide, especially for the, let's say, non-military used ones. We have a good mixture of academic and industrial users, which is, let's say, in Germany not that common, so we are the only center which has the industry on board and which can work together with industry. With the region of Stuttgart, we have by nature, let's say, the automotive sector here, but let's say also a variety of other sectors. So it's quite interesting to see how this works out. And we have a strong community focus. As I already said, systems are bought and procured for the communities to be used, not for any ranking lists. And we see this in our average utilization of the system, which is currently around 95%, which is already too much because people start calling me and telling me I have to wait so long for my job, can you do something, etc. Which is, okay, people always complain, but this time, unfortunately, they are correct if I look at the usage number. But this shows that such a system can be used. And the interesting thing is that we had started some activities now, which we call the XXL projects, where we, after maintenance phase, asked, let's say, our power users to use the whole system, so the whole 180,000 cores, and we get quite impressive results now, which show also, let's say, that with the evolution of the applications, and some of them are more mature, some of them are less mature, but we can evolve the applications to an extent that you can really show the need for such a system, and even going beyond this. Normally people will not use the 180,000 cores because the system is full of a diversity of different jobs here. So it's an interesting thing, and we see this is for us the most important part, to bring the communities forward. So when we talk about communities and we are exploring new domains, just some examples. My boss, Michael Resch, he was involved, let's say he was one of the co-authors of a GSS paper together with Carlo here, and that's why the whole thing somehow started moving in the correct direction. He was also one of the drivers of the Center of Excellence for Global System Science initiative. We at HLRS ourselves are doing a lot of, let's say, in that direction currently. So we have a, let's say, we have a staff unit for philosophy and of science technology for computer simulations. So these are philosophers, which is quite interesting to see sometimes our techies talking to them, which is quite interesting meeting the communities, but it works out. We recently held a workshop on computer simulation and prediction risk uncertainty, and it was quite well, let's say, taken up by the people participating there. Currently we are having ongoing discussion on establishing a professorship in computation as a sociology. We have, let's say, good connection to sociologists, which is a nice word. If you're German, let's say even in German, it's hard to. And we are also doing now some investments and work on an agent-based modeling tool, which is graph-based, and which should provide one of the HPC-ready baselines for the COE GSS project, which is the Center of Excellence Global System Science. Why are we doing this? Let's see. As Carlos said, HPC will get, let's say, important for the evolution, but also HPDA, which is high performance data analytics, will get important. We cannot somehow live anymore without, let's say, making use of the data we produce. And the more we simulate and the more efficient we simulate, the more we get problems because we have data sets which can't be engineered anymore by humans. So there's a global trend to this high performance data analytics here. What we did in the project was just having a look at how such a life cycle of a GSS application enhanced by HPC, HPDA can look like. And you see that you have, let's say, of course, the data which is somehow processed through the HPDA. You have the synthetic population generation, which can happen on a tier 0 or tier 1 system, depending on really on the application that you have. The agent-based modeling framework, for now, we think it should scale up to a tier 1 system, which are, let's say, smaller systems of smaller scale, but still, let's say, very powerful. Simulation results need to go through the HPDA again, and then we, of course, do some visualization, which will be mandatory. If we talk about social problems, let's talk to politicians. You cannot hand them over, let's say, the big hard disk with 5 petabytes. I think there's even no 5 petabyte hard disk, so which is good. But they need to be able to understand and let's say, show also, again, their people what's happening here. And if you talk about getting the money for the next system, it's also quite good if you have some pictures and some visualization here to make them understand it. So we see also, we see that there are applications here and that we see this, let's say, of course, not all of them will be HPC-fied by any means up to a high scale. It simply depends on the application. But some of them have a potential for high scalability. And again, the large data sets are resource demanding in terms of processing them and in terms of managing them at all, which is a challenge here. So quickly about the agent-based modeling framework. This is something where we saw there is a problem here because you have some frameworks which are out there, but they are not really made for high scalability. Yeah? And also their extensibility to high scalability is quite limited. So what we are now approaching here is to develop a framework to code and simulate agent-based models by a graph-based approach. We see some, let's say, promising results here. We cannot tell you if it will run on a 1 million core machine at the end, and it will be needed to run this. But we see that it's getting a right direction where it's getting, let's say, better and quicker now for us, and that we enter now really the HPC area as we define HPC. About this meeting, I think it's very interesting here because we had a lot of discussions about synthetic population, and we have seen also, let's say, a lot of developments all over. And I think this is a good opportunity here for us for what I call the future evolution of synthetic populations to really start into this, bring the people here together, and also, let's say, have some discussion aside about this potential symbiosis here between HPC and GSS. So I'm personally looking forward to a lot of excellent talks, probably not mine, but others, and discussions. And from my point, I like this quote here very nice. The best way to predict the future is to create it, because this, makes sense, and I think we have a lot of creators here which can do some futuristic things. And I think it Bohr or somebody who said the hard thing about predicting the future is that it will happen soon. So I have to say, first of all, thank you for the organizers of the conference. I think Fabio will be happy if it's, let's say, Friday evening. And I owe him some beers already, so I have said this here officially, so I will pay for them. I think we will have some good, very good tracks here, and I hope that we can have a lot of, let's say, side talks, bilateral talks at the side, and really discuss about the things, and then we will see what will be the end of this. I think we go in a good future here, and we have to move forward here, because the potentials of both communities are very good, and bringing them together is, I think, even better. Thank you.